Hey everybody, this is Kelly, the Missouri Carnivore. I'm hoping that you're having a good day today. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update about my upcoming hip replacement, which is coming up here in about 2 weeks, August 28th, 2026. I just had a pre-op appointment. This video, you'll be seeing it. It's coming out. It'll be today, August 13th, 2026. My pre-op doctor's appointments was Tuesday, August 11th, 2026, and I wanted to give you about the results on how it went and some things that I have noticed that are very positive in this whole thing. The first thing is many of y'all know that I have a video series about Carnivore healed everything except this one thing, and I'm talking about my hip. Carnivore did not heal that. I have a physical damage hip, and Carnivore does not heal physical damage. You have to have some kind of surgery, or you're gonna have to live with it the rest of your life. And I got to have it replaced. I want to have my mobility back. I want to be able to function fully, and I want to be able to do things next year, and that's what I'm looking forward to it. I am ready to have this surgery. But I want to get back to the pre-op doctor's appointment. So the very first one I had was I saw my doctor's Dr. Alex Windley. He's the one that's going to be doing the hip replacement, but I didn't see him. I saw his assistant that's part of his team, and we went over some things. After I had an x-ray, the first thing was I was a little bit nervous because everything is set up at work through my time off, the FMLA, the short-term disability, according to my surgery date. And they said that that date was not going to work. And I'm like, I have to have this because everything is scheduled. Well, the good news is it's going to work out, so everything is good. I will find out next week through the surgical center what time I have to be there, because my doctor that's doing this surgery likes to do it early in the morning, so that's great. Earlier the better. Well, the one thing is, in the past, most joint replacements you were in the hospital for a few days. Now they're outpatient. I don't know about knee replacement or shoulder replacement and stuff like that, but I do know hip replacement, it is outpatient. I am required to bring in a walker, which I have one my mom's got. I'm going to borrow from her, and they're going to make sure before I leave that I will be walking. I'll be up and walking the same day. That's one thing he explains. The other one is they want to make sure that the physical therapy team there will make sure I can be able to go up and downstairs after the anesthesia wears off, which that's a good sign. I'll be home the same day. Then he went over some medications that they already prescribed, and some of them I'm going to have to take because it's to prevent, and I don't want to take them because I want to keep them out of my system, but also it's a prevention. One of them is antibiotic to prevent infection because it is high risk, so I'll take it. The other one is, and I got the list here, that I have the list that they wanted me to take. And the first one is they wanted me to take a baby aspirin. It's to prevent blood clots, and I'm sure there's a reason behind it. So it's a low-dose baby aspirin. I will take that. And then when it comes to that, they have me doing what they call Celebrex. It's more or less is a ibuprofen, but it says take twice daily. I'm probably going to, if I need any kind of pain medicine or anti-inflammatory medication, I'll probably stick with the Tylenol because that's the first recommendation that they say. But they also describe me if I need tramadol or oxycodone. They've already had that all set up. I'm trying not to take those two medications as much as possible because hip replacement, according to them, hip replacement is not as painful because it's not a double joint. Knee replacement is a double joint, and you have to be able to, you're going to have more pain. When it becomes a hip, it's more of a ball socket. If you are familiar with mechanics, especially car mechanics, if anybody's familiar with them, think about your steering system on your vehicle. you, especially your tie rods or your A arms, they have ball joints, and that's what this hip is similar to. That when you're steering, there's movement. So when you're walking, you're bending, squatting, whatever, internal, external rotation, that hip is moving, and there's a ball in that socket, and that's what that hip is. So it is similar to what you have on your steering system. It's a ball joint, pretty much. And it's a lot easier. Knees is a hinge joint, and it's a lot different because they have to go into two bones. The hip is only one. Is there going to be a little bit of pain? I'm sure there will be a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll do what I need to do. Listen to the doctor. They said the main thing is I have to take it easy. I have no restrictions on driving, but I probably won't start driving until after Labor Day. I want to at least give it some healing time. They said the best thing to do is to walk. I'm going to do my best to do some walking, and the main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to at least get up every hour and at least walk around the house or get outside, carefully get down to the ground, do some grounding. I have a good flat area either in the backyard, probably in the backyard, and a little bit on the front yard where I am going to do walking back and forth. And when I graduate to the cane, my goal is I'm going to start walking and make my goal. Walk up the driveway, walk back. And that's a lot of things. And then also, right after Labor Day, I will be starting physical therapy. And that was a good rule of thumb. So that one's good. So I went to, the next appointment was a CT scan, and the CT scan was to scan the body. Well, some of y'all know that I had a little bit of an issue on a Friday, and I bent down and I lift up the toilet seat, and I ended up with probably a strained muscle or something, but it hurt, and it affected my walking where I'm walking with a cane. But I had to do the CT scan, and I had to lay flat, which I'm actually glad, because even though when they had to lay it flat, it hurt so bad. But once the pain receded, it felt much better. And I feel like I had some tight muscles, which I still have a little bit of tight muscles, but I feel like I'm walking a lot better. And sometimes I have to walk with the cane. Other times I can actually get around a little bit better without the cane. So I think each day gets better. It just takes a little matter of time for that, whatever it worked out. But before I left to get the blood work done at the hospital, I had to get an EKG. It was required because you have to make sure your heart's in good condition. This is where one of the things that I feel that Carnivore definitely healed. I've been Carnivore a little over 2 years, probably around 750 days now. In my early days of Carnivore, I was probably within 7 months. It was like 100 and some odd days, maybe not even 200. The last time I went to the heart doctor, and it was by my choice, he noticed an abnormality on the EKG to issue an echocardiogram, which it came out normal. It was good. But the nurse there at the surgical center did the EKG, and she's like, your EKG isn't good. It's normal. So after 2 years on Carnivore, my heart had a great, it was working great. It had a great EKG. That's a blessing. So I had my blood done at the hospital. And then here's the other thing. When I had to go to my final appointment, I'm thinking, oh great, here we go. We're going to be talking about the cholesterol talk. We're going to be talking about the statin talk and stuff like that. And so I come to my appointment, and of course I had to also deal with some stuff through work. So, it was an ups, got that taken care of. And of course a little stress level and your cortisol, stuff like that, because you're talking and great, this is happening. So you're a little agitated, a little aggravated. So in there and talk to the nurse, and when they took my EKG, they took my blood pressure, which they said it was good because they were moving, and they took it right away. And it was 144 over 83, 144 over 83. And then they, so that nurse took it, and she said sometimes what took it. She took it, and I haven't took blood pressure medicine in a while, and I had a low dose, and I started out 2 years ago, or 7 years ago at 10, 5 years ago, it went down to 5. The early days of Carnivore, I took to 2.5 5 milligrams. Now I'm not even taking it. And it was by my choice. And she took the blood pressure like normal nurses do, not let it rest and stuff. It was 122/70. She said, that's great blood pressure. So I'm waiting for the doctor because he's an internal medicine doctor. And as he comes in, I'm thinking, oh, wow, great, we're going to have the cholesterol talk. We're going to have the statin talk. And, so we went over and we were talking about some stuff. And then he checked my, normal heart rhythm, through the stethoscope. And, I did the breathing like the upper lung to the lower lung and vice versa with the opposite side. And then we went over talking about it. He's like going over the blood test. He said, looked at your EKG. That looks great. So the doctor was going over the blood work and he says, and this is another miraculous thing about that was great. He went over my blood work and he says, your liver functions are great. You have good kidney functions. Everything looks good. And he says, you're cleared for surgery. And I'm like, was amazed. Not one talk about your cholesterol being high. Not one single talk about you need to be on a statin. None of that. He never said anything. And so I was very happy. A little over 750 days on Carnivore, 2 years on Carnivore, and I had a great EKG, and I don't take blood pressure medicine, and I was cleared for surgery because my blood work was good. And not even having a statin talk or talking about how high my cholesterol is and the LDL and all that. Didn't have that talk. So that is awesome. So there is my update about the pre-op, and I will update you more as time goes through, as after I have my surgery and how I recover. I will follow up with that. So everybody, let's be kind, be positive, have a good attitude, and encourage and support one another. You all have a great day. God bless, and I will see you on the next one.